Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore. And Baltimore Positive, we are positively downtown. We're at Faidley's in Lexington Market. All are brought to you by our friends at the Maryland Lottery. I still have a few Betty Boops left, but we're coming into the new Show Me. This is the $10,000 game, so we're giving these scratch-offs away. We're going to be at State Fair next Thursday in the afternoon from 2 until 5 doing the Maryland Crab Cake Tour presented by the Maryland Lottery in conjunction with our newest friends, Window Nation. You buy 2, you get 2 free. Go to windownation.com, as well as our friends at Goodwill. We're also going to be at Costas on the 7th of July. I think it's going to be our final Maryland Crab Cake Tour stop before I do 31 crab cakes in 31 days in 31 breweries, all inspired by Damye. Damye's here from Faidley's. Her family, been running this joint since the
80s.
80s. I was going to say 60s, but
1886.
1886. How's Mom? How's Dad? What's going on? They're not around today.
They're doing great. Dad's getting ready to celebrate his 90th birthday.
Is he still shucking crabs? What's he doing? Shooting muskrats? What's he doing? What's filling his days? Because this place filled his days all of his life, right? Like when COVID came, I remember how upset everyone was because they couldn't come here and work, and that tore him up.
Right, and well, it tore my parents up not being able to be here, but they're still doing the bookkeeping, and they're still doing. Nancy still comes in on the weekends, so she's usually here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Bill works from home, so he
said comes here on the weekends. Huh? A weekend's a Saturday. You're like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm thinking I was here on a Thursday. She was here. That was homecoming day. We were opening the new market, getting a little taste of the new market over there, and I went to the Oriole game. Your buddy Bruce didn't pitch that night, but I went to the Oriole game. And I came in on Thursday, 5 o'clock. Mom's back here mixing up in bowls, right?
Right. At 86, she's still going strong. She's amazing.
Well, that's why the crab cakes taste so good that night, man. I've had 3 different people come by here who, one has had your crab cakes often, Simone from Charm City Table, but Howard hadn't been here in a while. And Bill Henry admitted that it had been a little while since he had the crab cake. I see all 3 of them, they take the first bite and they do what I do.
Right.
There's a sound
right.
that comes when you haven't had a crab cake in a while and you have a bite of yours, I think.
Well, that's why Nancy likes sitting up there so that she can see, she's not behind a wall or anything. She's sitting right in the middle of the dining room, and she likes to be able to see the reaction that people have when they take that first bite.
Does she still bark at him? It's good, isn't it? Does she do a little bit of that?
No. She usually waits for them to come up and say, oh, my God, it's the best thing I ever ate.
Well, it is pretty good.
So it's
Was there
fun.
ever another – when you were a little girl, did your family make crab cakes that were different than this recipe?
Well, our back fin is and yes, we made 2 crab cakes that were typical of what you would get in Maryland. And
she talked about the early 80s and jumbo lump from the history here at Faidley's. Well, but I'm just wondering.
I'm talking about the 50s and 60s.
Sure.
Like, when the crab cake would be what you would make with your leftover picked crab. Because when you had canned meat, most people make a dish like an imperial with it. They wouldn't actually make crab cakes with it. So the crab cakes were more like a little crab patty.
So when you went into a really nice restaurant, Chesapeake restaurant in the 50s or 60s here, you probably didn't get a crab cake. You probably got crab imperial of some kind, right?
You would get crab imperial, or if you got a crab cake, it would be a blend. It would be more the body meat.
Right.
And not
but it
jumbo
wasn't a
lump.
Gucci product in the 60s. It was a market product.
It was, and
it was
something
leftover.
everybody had. Exactly.
It was like when chicken wings were just a thing that nobody ate. They were the things you not threw away, but you put in soup or whatever, right?
Right. They were the extra.
They weren't the delicacy that they've become.
That's correct. That's correct. So we had 2 crab cakes on the menu in the 60s, and that was one that we called a regular, and it was made with claw meat.
Did it come with like saltines and mustard?
Yep, just saltines and mustard.
That's
and they were like a
my
buck.
My family would always remember.
Right.
they
were like 90 cents or $1, and then you had the what we called the backfin crab cake that was that had the bigger lumps in it.
And then jumbo lump came along.
And then jumbo lump came along later, yeah.
Changed the whole thing. We're at Faidley's, talking history of crab cakes. If you've ever seen the Nestor Crab video on Facebook with 3.5 million views, it's Damye's hands. It's her crab picking technique. I tell this story, and I haven't told it to you on the air, but so many people seen that video, and they talked to me about it and about the technique. And I think the reason it has 3.5 million views, not that your hands are beautiful or my voice is beautiful, I think a lot of people had never seen that technique to this day. And that's always been your technique, right?
That's always been my technique. And there was a crab processing center, or a crab processing house down in Wingate called Meredith and Meredith. It's now out of business. I think it went out of business.
Many of them
80s.
are, which is something we talk a lot about.
And you can see up here all these cans. See all these Meredith and Meredith cans?
Wow!
So in the winter,
I've been here a million times. I've never seen those cans.
And those and Meredith and Meredith, that
Here,
family.
I'm going to show it I'm going to try to get the camera back to where it belongs. But if you look up here, every subsequent crab cake will be measured against hers, 1998, still to this day. But look at those cans. Sailor Boy, Meredith oysters. There you go.
So the Meredith and Meredith was owned by the Tolley family. They were very good friends of our family, and they would shuck oysters in the winter and pick crab in the summer. And that was a method that I learned from the Tolley family at Meredith and Meredith. There were some older crab pickers that would use a knife to peel off that back and roll off those legs and clip it. So they didn't have that side.
Could you compete in a crab picking speed thing? Not with but you'd be pretty fast, all right? If I gave you a dozen crabs right now, you could pick them pretty fast.
I would probably be more thorough than fast. You would have no meat left in there. It would be just shells.
Now, so you sent me. Give a little talk about current crab. Damye's here, and one of our issues with the crab cake tour that really got me motivated was the folks on the Eastern Shore, because I wanted to do I'm a traveler.
Right.
And then I realized I hadn't been to Deep Creek Lake. I hadn't been to Blackwater Refuge, Harriet Tubman. I'd never been to Crisfield. I still haven't been to Rock Hall. So there's places in the state. That's what really got me going with the crab cake tour last year. I love crab cakes. It was an excuse to eat different ones. But going out, and you said, don't forget the Waterman.
Yes.
And you got me 2-3 summers ago when the prices started to get a little crazy before COVID. But COVID wouldn't allow immigrants to come and pick crabs. We talked so much about these visas that are necessary. But I went over to Jam Clayton, and I got to know the folks over there through your relationship. And I saw the ladies that come up from Mexico that pick these crabs at just a speed that it's mind-boggling. I put those videos up. They had 10, 20,000 views the first weekend. These people are mesmerized by.
Yes.
And you have all the cans here.
I do.
And
I have
it's
some beautiful
it's
crab
the season. So let's talk about where this comes from, because this is literally, it's not a bushel of crabs, but it's a hell of a lot of crabs that go into making this pound of crab.
So 1 pound of the jumbo lump, which is only the swimmer fins. I don't know if you can see it in here, but that's the big the
big
swimming paddle on the back of the crab. That's kind of like its thigh, so it's got the biggest muscle. There are only 2 pieces of that to a crab. So you're talking about a
60,
lot of
80,
crabs.
yeah.
Yes. It takes an entire bushel of crabs to make 1 pound of jumbo lump. And I don't think people realize, they say, oh my gosh, why is it so expensive? Well, if there's only 2, it's kind of like how many Chateaubriands do you get out of a herd of cattle? The number of the herd of cattle.
Right.
So it takes a lot to, if you're going to, feed 1,000 people. This can here is 1 bushel of crabs for this 1 pound.
Windmill of Maryland crab meat. So you know where this comes from?
Yes.
Yep.
This is the Ripon family out of Fishing Creek. Again, we've been buying from them for years.
I went to Fishing Creek last year. I did.
Yep. Did you go see Janet?
I did not, but I'm going to this year because you made me do last year.
Yes, you have to go see Janet. She's amazing.
I saw her on Market down at the beach, right? I mean, they have Rippons, the family, right?
Yes, that's her cousin.
Okay, fair enough.
So they have they're a lot of families, So she her family, though, her father sold to my father, her grandfather sold to my grandfather. So we've been dealing with each other for a long time. Lovely lady, and this is hers, and this is also her. This is the body meat. So you get about 3 cans of this body meat in a bushel, and 1 can of this. So there's 3 times of this to 1 of this.
And the effort we're talking about to harvest a bushel of crabs, steam the bushel of crabs, pick the bushel of crabs, and then get this to Faidley Seafood Market so you can make
a crab
these
cake
delicious concoctions that people are coming people come in here with their roller bags right from the airport. It's amazing.
Yes, and it's a wild caught product. So it's not like you can farm them or you can say
farm raised salmon,
no.
right? Yeah.
So people, it's oftentimes I find it humorous. People will say, I want to have a crab feast on X day. Well, that's great. I'm not sure, they want to know what a price is going to be. Well, I have no idea because I don't know what they're going to catch that week. I don't know if we're going to have a hurricane. I don't know if there's going to be a storm. I don't know. And all of it is supply and demand. So, you can give a range, but you really have no idea what you're going to get.
When the supply goes up, you got to eat the crabs. They're not. You can't keep a crab.
No, you're not saving them. And here's the other thing: is that even if you you also have to think about the time of the month. So crabs slough their shell, and usually around a full moon. So they're going to be lighter, heavier at the beginning of the full moon, and lighter just after. So people say, "Oh my gosh, these crabs are so light."
I didn't know that. I know a lot of stuff, but I didn't know this. You're teaching me
so
this.
what a crab does is he fills up his shell, and when he gets, and it takes about 30 days for him to eat enough to fill up his shell, and once he gets completely full in his shell, excuse me,
get some water.
I'm sorry. He will literally split the shell in the back, pop out of it. He's a soft shell for about 24 hours, and then
you fry him and bring him to me. No,
yeah.
you have soft shells here now. Yeah.
Yes, we do.
All right.
And so while it's a soft shell, you can, since they're a hibernating animal, you can put them to 40 degrees. They'll stop hardening. If they're out in the wild, they will harden again within 24 hours. But before they do, while their shell is very soft, they will puff up 1/3 their size with water and stretch that skin. And that shell then hardens into its new hard shell and gives it another 30 days to grow into.
Crazy creatures, right?
Yes. So that's why there's a light crab. He just sloughed. There's nothing wrong with him. He just sloughed, and now he's got to grow into his new shell.
Put him back in the water.
Put him back in the water.
Right.
Yeah. Or, enjoy him, as a lightweight.
How are crabs this season? I mean, as we say it or see it, I mean, how are they running, as we would say in East Baltimore?
So far, a little late. We had a kind of a late spring. We had cold weather all the way up through March. So everything got pushed by about a month and a half. We got our pickers late again. We've had struggling with the
read
visas.
about that all winter long. I'm going to go visit, our friends down at Clayton and Ripon as well. The tour has been educational for me in a lot of ways, and I think educational for the audience. The more I learn about crab, everybody loves crab cake,
right.
And everybody was pissed last year. I went down to Tillman Island. They weren't serving crab cakes in Tillman Island because everyone that's picking them at $55 a pound.
Right.
Nobody down there was going to eat a $40 crab cake.
Right.
They just weren't.
Right. And this year we were backed up with about 6 weeks with the visas, and Ripon, she's still waiting for her visas. They're not going to come in until July, so she only has a few pickers, and I'm getting what she's got. This is a friend of mine down in Tillman Island, Whitman's brothers. Yes, it's Tillman Island, and we're getting some out of Cambridge. So we're getting it from all over. Some people have pickers. Some people still are waiting on them. And the season's so short. You've got from April to December. Why the politicians can't figure out how to get this straightened out
this
for
is a
6
national
months out of
issue.
the year?
This isn't a Maryland issue. This is a national issue.
It's a national issue, but they can solve the problems by making this crab an essential food source that they don't have a cap. They did it for salmon in Alaska. They can do it for the crab in Maryland. It just needs to be done.
Well,
needs to be done.
Ben Cardin, John Sarbanes, Larry Hogan. I've talked to all of them about this, and obviously it's a Washington, D.C. issue. Damye Hahn is here. We are at Faidley's. We love coming down here. We get down here as often as we can. I've got new Maryland scratch-offs to show me. Call me the Show Me State right here. $10,000 prize, minimum $4 win. John Martin will be coming on this week. Our friends at Window Nation also supporting what we're doing. You buy two, you get two free. And I I have my Goodwill. I have a little Goodwill truck that I always hold up that I like to have fun with. We have a whole closet. We did spring cleaning into the summer. My wife's away right now, but Goodwill, we have some great stuff for you as well. Just wrapping up, downtown, the market, the new market, coming out of COVID, mail order, the things you do. You guys are it's been vibrant in here today. Summer, it feels like it's normal after a year and a half of me wearing a mask, coming to the front door, seeing the place boarded up, boxes, Christmas, Bruce Zimmerman in here, pitching stuff into boxes, trying to help you guys out.
God bless
so you
him.
have a family relationship with the former Oriole starter, hopefully back soon. But some normal, selling some fish, got, like a normal, does it feel normal?
It's getting there. It's a new normal, and we've got a lot going on this year. We've got the new marketing, the market that's going to open hopefully in the fall or early
fall
next
is
year.
What they're here. Okay.
Yeah, our space is going to take a little longer to build out, so we will be here in Lexington Market until the new space is open. In our space, luckily we have our own, kind of sectioned off space, so we can keep it running. And Catonsville is getting started, so we in a couple weeks they're going to start some deconstruction in Catonsville.
She's excited. Look at her. You can see the smile.
Help me.
Well, I mean,
God
we've
help
known
me.
about this for a long time. Is there any timeline on Catonsville opening?
Well, we're just starting the deconstruction at this point.
You want to say next year? Is that
so? Next year,
next
next summer. Next summer, I'd say.
All right.
As long as, again, it's supply chain issues.
I don't want the first crab
God help
cake
us.
over there, but I want the first batch is all I want.
Okay.
Have I made a mistake not getting fried shrimp here or something? Because you always try to, bring me – I don't love deviled eggs, so don't – I just don't love deviled eggs. But, all the stuff
but I've given
here-
you some good fish. I've given you some good shrimp salad. You liked our shrimp salad.
I've liked everything I've ever had here, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But I always get the crab. And I'm kind of in the mood for your crab. I haven't had your crab cake in 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I came down. I did that the homecoming night. I had a crab cake. I brought my dear friend Shannon and her husband down and their kids.
And
your
those
mom
were
was
those
here.
were the crab cakes made out of the body meat. Those aren't jumbo lump. Same recipe, but it's smaller meat because it's hard to make a small crab ball out of a great big lump. It just falls apart.
Oh, the little ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love crab balls.
I know. They're awesome.
You know me. I've
They're
told
awesome.
you. I love this jumbo and a Gucci and that, but you can
love the
fry that
claws.
over there and put it on a saltine, and I'm going to love it.
I love the claws. If I can get a good can of claw meat, it's hard to find claw meat.
Claw meat's
picked.
sweet.
And it's sweet and it's delicious, and I'll just eat it right out of the can. It's awesome.
Still love crabs. This family down here.
Yeah.
Come visit them. They're down here at Lexington Market. Tell me how they can order online if they want to ship some crab cakes. There's nothing going to make you a bigger star for graduation, holiday, birthday. You got to let people know they're coming. You can't just have the box show up.
Because
that's a mistake.
Our claim to fame is not only do we ship you the best crab cake, we ship ours fresh. It's never been frozen, so we actually make it to order. And so we, because of that, we have to overnight express it. And you can order them online. You can order it from our website.
And you need to get it in the oven right away when you
Faidley'sCrabCakes.com.
get it. You don't want to be playing around with that crab cake when it comes. Eat it.
Eat
Delicious.
it. Yeah, you have about 3 or 4 days once you get it, but because we make it the day before it arrives to you.
Right.
So it's
very
literally
fresh.
It's very fresh.
It's as fresh as
And
eating it in
it's
here.
coming
Yeah.
right up out of the Eastern Shore. Right, they're delivering it every day. The crab meat. So we've got this beautiful Maryland crab meat, and we can overnight ship them anywhere in the country. And so Faidley'sCrabCakes.com. We've got an e-commerce site, or you can give us a call. We're happy to take an order over phone.
And if you want a crab cake with the Chinese meat, this isn't the place to do it. So
No,
don't
no,
do it here.
I don't have
it's
it.
Maryland meat
Sorry,
here. This is what
sorry.
we're doing here. And if
It's
you,
the real deal.
And if you want Maryland crabs in January, she can't help you with that either, right? So, 'cause
No,
there's no such thing.
I get Louisiana crabs in January.
Well,
They're still good.
God bless
They're
them.
still good.
Yeah, they need
They're
business
still
down
good.
there
Yep.
too.
Yep.
All right, we're giving Maryland business, Baltimore business. It is Baltimore positive. It's all brought to you by the Maryland Lottery, Goodwill, and our friends at Window Nation. We appreciate the hospitality here. I had Bill Henry stop by. My lifer friend Howard Scher from Duck Doctor stopped by. And we started the program with Charm City Table blogger Simone Phillips, who came in and hadn't had a Faidley's crab cake in a while. I'm going to work something to get out the door. You know I got a grill now. I got an outdoor grill.
Oh, my
So,
goodness.
it's true. We live in a county now. We got a grill. I have not put a piece of proper fish on it. So I am going to be looking over there for something that may be working. The grill's so easy. You just turn a little button. It goes on.
Yeah, how
Flames
easy is
come
that?
up.
Welcome to the real world.
She said. Condescendingly. That's a great John Mayer song. I am Nestor. We are WNST signing off for another successful Maryland Crab Cake Tour. Everybody's had crab cakes here except me, so I got to take a break. We're back for more. It is Baltimore Positive at WNST AM 1570. Stay with us as we continue the conversation.